Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. This is your pre-market briefing for Friday, February 20th, 2026. GDP cut in half. Inflation is running hotter. GDP Price Index is exploding higher. PMIs come out at 645. Housing comes out at 7. This is not a quiet Friday. Growth is slowing. Inflation is accelerating. This is a tension setup. This show is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels, so you don't have to. Let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I am building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's get into the macro data. So we had advanced GDP quarter over quarter, forecasted at 2.8%, come out at 1.4%, half of the growth that we expected. Next, we had core PCE Price Index month over month. It came in hotter than expected. Next, we had advanced GDP Price Index quarter over quarter. Major spike. That came in at 3.6%. It was only forecasted at 2.8%, y'all. It's not good for the markets. It's definitely down in the markets today. As you can see, this news came out at 5:30. We were up here previously at 6,863, and we're currently, you see the downtrend right there, y'all. All right, at 6:45, we have flash PMI, 2 red folders coming out. This will confirm whether business activity aligns with the weaker GDP number. And then at 7 o'clock, we have new home sales, housing sensitivity, rates reaction possible. Also, we have the UOM consumer sentiment and the UOM inflation expectations. All right, so the summary for this, we have growth slowing, inflation accelerating, price pressures elevated, PMI confirmation pending, and housing data pending. This is a stagflation type tension setup. This matters today, y'all. This is important. All right, next, let's check out the earnings that came out yesterday after market close. We had OpenDoor. OpenDoor, they missed on earnings terribly. Terribly is a small way to say it. By 997%, they missed on earnings. They actually beat on revenue by 23%, and you can see it's up since yesterday's close. All right, next we have Live Nation. Live Nation, they missed on earnings by 3.6%, and they beat on revenue by 3%. As you can see, it's up a little bit since yesterday's close. We have Sprouts Farmers Market. A small beat on earnings and a small beat on revenue. It's just down a little bit since the close yesterday. And last we had Texas Roadhouse. They missed on earnings by 14% and a small miss on revenue, but it's still up. It's up $4 since yesterday's close. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, let's put on the NAS 100 while we check this out. As you can see, the NAS 100 dropped from the 530 news. Okay, next is the Robert Greene Daily Law. Put faith in learning, not technology. You cannot shortcut mastery through tools. You cannot rewire 6 million years of brain development with apps, shortcuts, or hacks. The distracted mind becomes weaker over time. Depth beats convenience. Process beats shortcuts. Technology makes investing easier with apps, notifications, and AI summaries, but none of that replaces studying businesses, understanding cycles, reading earnings reports, and analyzing macro trends. If you depend only on tools, you weaken your judgment. Learning compounds, convenience does not. When it comes to trading, we have indicators, algorithms, and signal services. None of those replace screen time, risk management, emotional discipline, or reviewing losses. If you only rely on tools without understanding, you become reactive instead of strategic. Faith in learning builds edge. Faith in shortcuts erodes it. This is $1 Trillion Tickers, and I'm your host, Matt Riches. All right, let's check out the market cap of our $1 Trillion Tickers, the most valuable companies in the world. Let's start with NVIDIA. 4.57 trillion, followed by Apple, 3.82 trillion, Google, 3.67 trillion, followed by Microsoft, 2.96 trillion, Amazon, 2.19 trillion, TSM, 1.86 trillion, Meta, 1.63 trillion, AVGO, 1.58 trillion, Tesla, 1.54 trillion, Berkshire B, 1.07 trillion. And look, folks, Walmart has fell out of the $1 trillion ticker category, y'all. It's at 995 billion. So Walmart is out until they increase their market cap, y'all. Let me write good morning in the chat right quick. And also, peace, blessings, financial freedom. And we'll get right into the news, y'all. All right, there we are. Okay, next, let's get into some news. We got 3 minutes before market open. Okay, rent is now cheaper than owning in every major U.S. metropolitan area, y'all. Rent is cheaper than owning. You know, they used to always say, man, you should buy a house because it's cheaper to buy a house than to rent. We're not in 2026, y'all. Not in 2026. All right, next. Apple sold 33% of the smartphones shipped in Europe in Q4 of last year, y'all. Apple is the leading smartphone brand in Europe with 33% of market share in Q4 of last year, y'all. Shout out Apple. All right, next. Oh, man. The U.S. sends the largest warship towards Iran. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest aircraft, has entered the Mediterranean as Donald Trump weighs possible action against Iran. Part of its strike group, the USS Mahan, is already crossing the Strait of Gibraltar. The carrier is expected to reach the Middle East within days and be ready for potential operations. Yeah, we're about to go to war with Iran, y'all. You know, the U.S. is always in some type of war. All right, market open in 15 seconds. I'm going to put NVIDIA on here. Let's get ready, y'all. Market open, market open, market open. The market is open. February 20th, 2026, 6:30 a.m. You know we in California. All right. Nvidia is down almost 1% at 186.10. Google is up over 0.5% at 304.89. Apple is down almost 0.75% at 258.75. Microsoft is down over 0.5% at 396.64. Amazon is barely over break even at 205. TSM is barely under break even at 360.29. AVGO is down almost 0.75% at 331.23. Meta is down 0.5% at 641.50. Tesla is down over 1% at 407.40. Berkshire B is down fractionally at 496.20. And we can take Walmart off the list, y'all. All right, let's check out some of our other tickers we like to look at on this show. SPX is down over 0.25% at 6,835. SPY is down over 0.25% at 682.11. The NAS 100 is down almost 0.5% at 24,674. QQQ is down almost 0.5% at 650 cents, y'all. The Dow Jones, shout out Pam Bondi, is down 0.25% at 49,216. The Dow Jones ETF is down 0.5% at 492. The VIX has spiked, y'all. The VIX is up almost 5% at 21.11. The 10-year Treasury yield note is at 407. Gold is back over 5,000 per ounce, y'all. Yeah, with all this uncertainty, gold is up almost 1% at $5,048 per ounce. The gold trust you can buy is up 1% at $99.95. Silver is up over 3% at $73.42. The copper miners ETF is up almost 0.5% at $86.51. Bitcoin is still under 70,000. Bitcoin is at 67,130, y'all. IBIT is at 38.08 at break even. Ethereum is down fractionally at 1,945. BMNR is at close to break even at 19.99, y'all. AMD is still in the gap. Is down 1% at 201.12 cents. Palantir is down almost 2% at 132.31, y'all. Hood looking nice today. Hood is up 2% at 77.21, y'all. All right, while I read some more of the news, I'm going to put this on the screen here. This is our 8-chart display with trading view. Top left-hand corner, we have Nvidia. To the right, Google, Apple, Microsoft. Underneath Nvidia, we have Amazon. To the right, TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. All right. Oil markets are on edge as Trump weighs Iran strike. Donald Trump may soon decide to strike against Iran, pushing oil prices higher on supply risk fears. Markets are focused on the Strait of Hormuz, a key route for about a third of global seaborne oil. At Again Capital, John Kilduff says retaliation risks are already priced in, while Bob McNally of Rapidan Energy Group warns oil could top $100 a barrel if flows are disrupted. But Natasha Kaniva at JP Morgan and Dan Struven at Goldman Sachs expects limited targeted action, keeping any price spike temporary. All right, Tesla, y'all. Tesla introduces a cheaper Cybertruck with dual motor, all-wheel drive trim starting at $59,990, y'all. Is it time to get the Cybertruck, y'all? That thing is under $60,000. Cybertruck is under $60,000, y'all. I don't know, but it's on discount. Also, if you want the Cyber Beast, the Cyber Beast is now under $100,000. It is $99,990. It was $115,000. So you get $15,000 off the Cyber Beast right now, y'all. All right. Oh man. Next, a federal grand jury indicted 3 Silicon Valley engineers on charges of stealing trade secrets from Google and other companies, sending sensitive data to Iran. Oh man, they going to jail now. They are going to jail, y'all. Let me see. 3 Iranian nationals. Wow, they got some names on them. Samaneth Gandali, Soror Gandali, which like they brothers, and Mohammed Javad Khosravi. They stole hundreds of Google trade secrets on processor security and cryptography, then transferred them to unauthorized locations, including Iran. Google detected the breach via routine monitoring and cooperated with authorities, resulting in the suspect's arrest in San Jose. They face up to at least 10 years in prison if convicted on conspiracy, theft, and obstruction charges, emphasizing vulnerabilities in tech hiring from high-risk regions. The case is unrelated to the Iranian government espionage, per prosecutors. This amplifies U.S. concerns over intellectual property leaks to adversarial nations, potentially prompting stricter vetting in Silicon Valley without immediate material impact on Google stock performance, y'all. Damn, that is crazy, y'all. That is crazy. Hey, this is what happens when we don't have the talent in America and we have to go get the talent from overseas. That leaves us vulnerable to situations like this, y'all. Everybody can do 10 years in the pen each. All right, 10 years minimum. All right, next, let's check out the sectors, y'all. Let's see where money is flowing into and money is flowing out of this morning, y'all. All right, first we have XLK. This is our technology sector. It is down fractionally at 139.97. XLY is down 0.25% at 115.89. This is our consumer discretionary ETF. XLC, our communications ETF, is up fractionally at 115.29. XLF, our financial sector ETF, is down 0.5% at 51.90. XLV, our healthcare ETF, is down 0.5% at 156.44. XLP, our consumer staples ETF, is down over 0.25% at 87.63. XLE, our energy ETF, is down almost 0.5% at 54.93. XLU, our utility sector ETF, is barely under break even at 46.11. XLI, our industrial sector ETF, is down fractionally at 176.09. XLB, our material sector ETF, is down fractionally at 52.75. And XLRE, our real estate ETF, is barely over break even at 43.24, y'all. All right, let's check out the heat map. Before we check out the heat map, let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. I'm sure with that aircraft carrier going to Iran, we should be in fear. Yes, we are at 37 in the Fear and Greed Index. We are in the middle of fear. And if we strike Iran, it's going to be a lot more fear in the market, y'all. All right, let's check out the heat map. Let's see. We got a lot of red in finance, y'all. We got a lot of red in healthcare. Got a lot of red in energy. Got a lot of red in consumer services. We got a lot of red everywhere, y'all. It's mostly red on this thing. We got a little bit of green. We got Lam Research up 1.25%. AMAT up 0.5%. MU is up almost 2%. Google is up 2%. Oracle is down 2.5%. Walmart down 2.5%. That's why Walmart fell out of the $1 trillion tickers category, because it's down, y'all. Palantir's down 1.75%. Disney's down over 1%. Yeah, it's a very red day today. Wells Fargo's down 1.5%. Citibank down almost 1.5%. Bank of America down. Bank of America and Goldman Sachs are both down over 1.5%. Morgan Stanley is down almost 1.5%. Yeah, it's a rough day in the market, y'all. All right, next. This is from Earn Your Leisure on Twitter. They said the average U.S. long-term mortgage rate dropped to 6.01%, the lowest level in more than 3 years. Wow. 6% is the lowest in more than 3 years. It still seems high to me, y'all. It still seems high to me. Too high for me to want to buy a house. We need a housing crash for me to want to buy a house, so we can get these rates down. Trump, I thought you was bringing rates down, man. What's going on, man? You said we getting to 1%, right? It's still at 6%. The mortgage rates. All right, next. It's from Walter Bloomberg. OpenAI smart speaker. It's going to be priced between $200 and $300. Won't ship until early 2027, y'all. We got a year before that thing gonna drop. A smart speaker. I seen something else about. I think they're gonna drop 3 products. All right, next. Oh, I thought this was interesting. Check this out, y'all. Trump orders release of UFO and alien files. Trump announced he's directing the Pentagon and other agencies to release government files on alien and extraterrestrial life, including UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is UAP. Well, tell us aliens is real then, Trump. You tell us, man. I know you'll tell us way better than the Pentagon would tell us. I need Trump to announce the aliens, y'all. That's going to be so funny, bro. I can't wait. All right, next. Michael Saylor. You know Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. He created the Bitcoin treasury. Let's put MicroStrategy on the chart, y'all. Let's go to the daily. This chart looks terrible. This chart looks terrible, y'all. MicroStrategy hit an all-time high in November of 2021. That all-time high was 543, and it's currently trading at 131. But what did he say? He said, if Bitcoin is not going to zero, then it's going to 1 million, y'all. That's what he said. All right. Next, Miami has the highest concentration of millionaires in the country. If you're a millionaire, go to Miami, you're going to have a lot of competition. But that's where they at. All right. Let's check out some ETFs that we like to look at on the show. IWM. This is our Russell 2000 ETF. It's down almost 0.5% at 263.60. SPYM. Don't spend $600 a share on SPY. Spend $80 a share on SPYM. It's up, barely over break even at $80.61. QQQM. It's up almost 0.5% at $249.50. Don't spend $600 on regular QQQ. Spend $249 on QQQM. You get the same gains. And you'll own more shares. So that's beneficial dividend wise. Next, SPYG is up almost 0.5% at 104.63. SOXQ, our low cost semiconductor ETF, is up almost 1% at 64.89. Don't spend $358 on SOXX when you can spend $64 on XOXQ. All right, next, TQQs is up almost 1% at 49.25. SOXL is up almost 2% at 64.61. XLG, this is the top 50 stocks in the S&P 500. This fund was created by Invesco. You know, Invest with Invesco. They also created QQQ, QQQM, SOXQ. I really like this one. Can't wait for it to drop so I can buy some. It's trading at 57.24. The IVES 30 is up almost 0.25% at $30.61. If you want to get paid a monthly dividend, you can check out SPYI. This is from the NEOS Group, the S&P 500 High Income ETF. It's going for $51.89. Let's see how much is the dividend. Oh, wait a minute. They moved the dividend this week, y'all. Okay. Normally it's at the last week of the month, but I guess because February is a short month, they moved it sooner. So the ex-dividend date was on Wednesday, and the payday is today, y'all. So that means you had to own these shares by Tuesday, February 17th, and you would have got paid today. And you would have got 52 cents per share, and the price is $51 a share. All right, next, QQQI. This is from the same fund, the NEOS Group. This is the NASDAQ 100 High Income ETF. The ex-dividend date, same date, is Wednesday, February 18th. So you had to own these shares by Tuesday the 17th. And you got $61 per share. And that payday is today. Sound like we got a dividend today, y'all. Yes, I'm still holding. As you can see on my chart here, this is when I bought it, December 23rd. And I got 1, 2, 3. This is my third dividend. The price of the shares has gone down. So I will continue to hold this. The share price is $52.09 currently. I needed to go up $3 to $55 before I can sell it. And I will just continue to get these dividends until it goes back to $55, y'all. That's where we at on that. All right. Let me run these prices of the $1 trillion tickers. Nvidia has earnings next week, y'all, on Wednesday the 25th. Nvidia has earnings. Can Nvidia save the tech sector with their earnings? Definitely a possibility. As you can see on the chart here, it's been consolidating since October in this area. It did break out for about a week before coming back in. We have this large consolidation area between 170 and 195. So on earnings, if Nvidia can beat on the top and bottom and give some good guidance, I think we can open up on Thursday the 26th outside of this consolidation zone. And then if it comes back and retests it and bounces, we will be headed to the upside. But it's currently still in the consolidation zone. Next, we have Google. All right, let's check out Google on the daily chart. Google actually broke under our daily support diagonal trend line last Thursday. And it fell all the way to our support level here at 296.70, and it's been fighting its way back up. This is close to breaking back over our support trend line. We'll see what happens. Next is Apple. Apple fell so hard 2 days in a row, man. Last Thursday and Friday, it fell hella hard. It tried to recover on Tuesday and Wednesday, but it started falling again yesterday. I do have a weekly level here at 258. It's currently at 259.26. As you can see, it's in the middle of our support trend line and our resistance trend line. So, yeah. As long as it doesn't break, it's basically in the middle of the zone right now. So, I don't like Apple to the upside or downside. We just gotta wait and see what happens. All right, next, Microsoft. Microsoft, you can see here a gap down on earnings in January, and it's been struggling ever since. We will need it to not break this low of 392. If it breaks that, that will be a lower low. So I will remain bearish on Microsoft. And if it does break that, I do have a level here at 390. If it breaks at 390, I got it coming to fill this gap, y'all. If Nvidia misses and software continues to sell off, yeah, I got it. Microsoft dropping, y'all. You see it right here. You got this gap that needs to get filled. This price imbalance needs to get filled. All right, next we have Amazon. Amazon has been struggling. ever since this earnings miss, even before the earnings miss. It came up to this weekly level at 247 and rejected. It's been struggling ever since. That thing fell all the way to 196, y'all. We got two gaps above it. And it did, we do have a lower low, a new lower low at 196. So, yeah, still bearish on, short-term bearish on Amazon. The next resistance I see is at 208.50, followed by this gap, and inside the gap I have a weekly level here at 213. All right, next we have TSM. TSM is not too far from all-time highs. All-time high is 380. It's currently at 362. I do have some support here at 356.39. If it breaks that, I do got it coming to 351 and then 342. To the upside, I don't have any resistance until 369 and then 374. AVGO is very close to our diagonal resistance trend line here. The current price is 336.65. It's getting very close to our resistance trend line. So let's see when it hits it. Will it reject or will it break through? If it does break through, I do have some resistance here at 346, followed by weekly resistance at 351. And support, I do have some support here at 327, followed by a weekly support at 320. Meta platforms. Meta has been struggling, y'all. Goodness gracious. Meta popped on earnings and fell. Bounced and fell and bounced on a previous gap. And it's been pretty strong for the past 3 days, but I'm still bearish on Meta. Meta got a long way to go before I'm bullish. I'm bearish on Meta short term. All right. So to the upside, I got some resistance at 667, followed by 683 and 695. Support, we got 628, followed by the gap, 620, and our diagonal trend line. Tesla rejected our resistance trend line and has fallen ever since. As long as it doesn't break this low of 387, we are okay. If it breaks that and then it breaks this 382, I don't even have any levels under here. I gotta make some more levels. I gotta find some more levels, but to the upside, and to the downside support, we got 401, 400 is gonna be psychological, and then we got this 391 weekly. Resistance, we got 413, followed by our weekly diagonal trend line here, and then it needs to break 436. So we got a long way to go before I'm bearish short term on Tesla. And last but not least, Berkshire B, Berkshire B. It had a nice run since January the 28th. It ran from 472 to 512, but since it started consolidating and it just broke our support here at 495. So it's to the downside. I got it going to 489, y'all, before I think it'll find some support at 489. To the upside, I'm not bullish until it breaks this 509, y'all. All right, it's gonna be a short show today. Been on for 40 minutes. That's enough. It's Friday, y'all. Prepare for your weekend. We're gonna chart on the weekends, and I'll show y'all how to chart. Starting from a blank chart to putting weekly and daily levels and trend lines on there. We'll do that about 6:15 tomorrow morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get into some Instagram motivation before we get up out of here. Of course, it messes up. Alright, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me, technical difficulties. I gotta refresh every time. If I don't refresh, this thing will not work.
You're more blessed than you think. Sometimes you just struggle to realize how much is in front of you because you're constantly thinking about what you have to obtain. The rich person is not the one who has a lot, but the one that has enough. So you should seek to have enough, inshallah. When was the last time you took some time to think about how much blessings Allah has put into your life? You have a family, alhamdulillah. You get to eat every day. You have a house, alhamdulillah, guys. Every time we're thinking, I want to obtain more and more and more. But so much so that we struggle to realize how much we already have, subhanAllah. And you will never ever have enough. And that's the way the Prophet ﷺ says, right? He says, if you give the son of Adam 2 values of gold, you still need to get a 3rd one. So sometimes just be frightful. Like in shakartum la azidannakum, and that's the beauty of it anyway. Because if you are grateful, Allah is going to increase you.
Yes, sir.
Every morning, everyone should speak these 5 affirmations. All right? I am the best. I can do it alone. God is always with me. I am a winner. Today is my day. Every morning, everyone should speak these 5 affirmations. All right? I am the best. I can do it alone. God is always with me. I am a winner. Today is my day.
And you know how we like to end the show, y'all. Of course, it messed up. Come on, y'all.
Be frustrating, and it's gonna be moments when it's really frustrating, and it's gonna be moments when it's really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're gonna take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day. It don't happen overnight, and there's gonna be moments when it's really frustrating, and it's gonna be moments when it's really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're gonna take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
That's what we do here, y'all. On the $1 Trillion Ticker Show, we show up every day. Put that work in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:15 in the morning. $1 Trillion Tickers. I'm your host, Matt Riches. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.